Hey, what's good guys? This is Chris from WearTesters.com. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel, the only sneaker channel here on YouTube where you come for the review and stay for the conversation. Today, we are taking a detailed look at these bad boys right here. I have been wanting these things since I first saw them, have not been able to find them in store anywhere until today. And for those of you guys that don't know what these are the Puma Palace Guard, once worn by Isiah Thomas. Now, something that actually comes in the box is this cool little card right here. And then on the back side right there, it has a bunch of stuff about the shoe. Now, the first thing that it says is just super funny to me. It says, "We can't tell you who used to wear the Palace Guard OG." And it was like, well, yeah, no shit, you're not paying them anymore. So of course you can't tell us that these used to be Isiah Thomas's shoe. But you know, it is what it is, but I just think that that's funny. Then they say that what we can tell you is that it was worn by a 2-time NBA champion, 12-time All-Star, which sounds like an accolade to me. 12-time NBA All-Star. Doesn't sound like he was popular enough 12 times to be voted in the NBA. He was good enough to be 12 times considered an All-Star. That's what the All-Star sounds to me. For those of you guys that watch our videos, you already know what I'm talking about. For those of you guys that don't, you might be a little confused, but it's okay. Maybe we'll talk about it towards the end. The dude's a Hall of Famer and considered one of the greatest point guards in NBA history. Now, you know, Isiah Thomas in 1989, for those of you guys that do not know, they actually defeated the Chicago Bulls in the 1989 Eastern Conference playoffs. You know, again, he was wearing these shoes, and I just think it's interesting because at this same token, I've read like a lot of comments online that say that the shoe is actually like a fake of the Air Jordan 4 just because they both have that little hump right there at the midfoot section or whatever, and then they kind of have like similar design features, I guess. But you know, the thing that I think is funny is that that's like almost impossible because of how long it takes shoes to get designed, manufactured, and all of that stuff. So I just don't see how that happens. I don't see how Puma and Nike was like on the same wavelength on purpose to where like one was biting the other. It's possible, I just think it's unlikely. And on top of that, a lot of shoes look like this back then, whether you're talking about like the Ewings or the old Reeboks or some old Nikes or original Air Jordans, every shoe looked like this. They had lots of panels, they were all made out of leathers or nubucks and all that stuff. So it's just a sign of the time. 1989. It was a great time to be alive. Now on the bottom of these guys right here, you have what looks to be herringbone. It also looks kind of wavy, so I'm just going to call it wave bone. That's something that was actually introduced by Adidas for the first time, and other brands ended up adopting it. And what I love about these is just how rugged this shit looks, man. This is a hefty, heavy-duty outsole. Nothing is flimsy. You know what I'm saying? Like when I talk about traction, I'm like, oh, this is pliable. This is not pliable. This is just hard ass rubber, and it's crazy. I have not seen something like this on a basketball shoe in a very, 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 very long time. And granted, this is not a modern day basketball shoe, so I understand it, but at the same time, it's just cool to see this. I love how retro it looks as well. I just like the color blocking and all that stuff. And then right here in the back, we have a little pocket of Puma's cell technology, which is something that we were just talking about in a brand new model not too long ago. It's called the Puma Liquid Cell. And basically Puma reinvented this tech, but they used to use it way back in the day, again, 1989. And I'm sure that they've used it before as well. But for those of you guys that don't know what cell technology is, it's basically a mixture of like a gel-like material along with like hexalite and stuff. It's kind of weird. You probably can't even see it, but inside of this little pocket right there, there's a bunch of little honeycombs. So again, looks like hexalite, but it is not the same stuff. Along with the rubber outsole, as well as the little heel pocket of cell technology, the midsole itself is polyurethane and actually feels interesting. It feels like a light polyurethane, even though it's dense, but what I mean by light is like a softer polyurethane. So when you put these on, they definitely feel heavy, but they also feel like actual polyurethane, which I've just found to be very interesting. And then inside of there, you have a really cool insole. This was probably not on the original. I highly doubt it. But this is what I was talking about in, again, the Liquid Cell review, where Puma just puts in like some beefy ass, real comfortable insoles, and it's really crazy. This one's a little bit thinner than the Liquid Cell version. But it's the same exact stuff, which is what my wife is actually talking about, is that similar things like this was in the RSX, and now that these are in my hand, this is the same exact thing as the RSX. So these guys are just a little bit fluffier, but they're putting in these kind of gel-like insoles, which give you a lot more step-in comfort, which I think is awesome. Now the shoe itself is made the old school or old-fashioned way. It's just made up of plenty of panels, and it's all leather everything. I love the way that this looks. I love the way that it feels. I like everything about them. The materials that they use are really nice as well. And I just like the old, like kind of like retro throwback look. I even like the little vintage thing, which I typically don't like because a lot of times it looks like it was like painted, but this is just kind of like a subtle tint of cream, I guess. So I like the way that that turned out. You got the little Puma logo as well as the text right there on the back. And then something that I find very interesting is this collar section right here. It reminds me of like the headbands or the wristbands and all that stuff that people used to wear in the NBA, although they still wear, you know, those things. And then I love this logo right here. I just like this. It reminds me of the Reebok pump, even though that came later. And I just think it looks really cool. I love the Puma logo inside of it. And this right here, like if this logo was on a wall, it would just be like a huge throwback, you know what I'm saying? Like it would just remind me of like a flashback moment where you kind of go into a shoe store and you see all the different brand advertisements and posters and stuff like that. And this little image right here is just something that I feel like I would see on the wall of maybe a Foot Locker. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, they do fit true to size. So whatever size you typically wear in other brands, that's what I would go with here. I tried on a pair, size 9, they fit perfectly. And something that I was actually surprised about, I was kind of wondering if they'd fit a little bit small. Something that I've run into with other brands or retro products like the Fila KJ7s and stuff like that. Those fit like really snug. These guys do not. These guys fit true to size. They fit awesome. I love how they feel as well. They don't feel like super comfortable, like as far as a modern shoe, like you definitely could tell that it's not a new age foam, it's not Zoom Air or, you know, brand new gel or whatever you might be able to think of as far as new tech is concerned, but they do feel like an old school but comfortable shoe with that leather and all that stuff. It's just real buttery, soft around your foot, flexes well. It's dope. Now these guys are available right now in this original colorway. They're also available in like a bunch of other weird colorways. There's some like white, black, and red ones, some black, white, and red ones. Man, there were some other random ones. They kind of like had like a Miami type of vibe to them, like they were kind of like teal and pink and stuff like that. I just saw some extra high top ones with dual straps and all that stuff. So I think that what Puma is doing right now is like awesome. I think that they're doing a little bit of everything. They're giving you performance basketball for today. They're also giving you retro basketball from yesteryear or whatever you might want to call it. And then they're also reinventing their entire like casual lineup with things like the RSX and all that stuff, which I think is dope. So if you're looking for stuff that is affordable, but also really cool, got that retro feel to it, Puma is usually one of those spots to do it at. This is not a paid advertisement like you might see everywhere else on YouTube. This is, I paid for these. I think they were like 80 bucks. Got them at Shoe Palace with my own money, all that stuff. These are my own thoughts. And I know that it's sad that I have to say that, but in today's current state of YouTube, you kind of do. If you are interested in grabbing a pair yourself, I will leave a link down below in the description box. It's going to be an affiliate link, so if you do purchase, we do get a little kickback. I think it's like 1% or something like that. So, you know, get me my like 10 cents or whatever it might be off of this purchase. That would be great. I'd appreciate it. But joking aside, these are the Puma Palace Guards. I think that these are awesome. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Until next time, guys, have a good one. So, 12-time All-Star. That sounded a lot like a pedigree. Like that sounded like that was part of your resume. That was not a participation award back in 1989.
I'm beginning to feel like all of my thoughts are being personally attacked.
That's the part of debate that is fun and engaging.
I understand that back then.
What video was it?
Oh my gosh. We had a video where I basically said that All-Star games now are like American Idol. It's
yes. Which they are, okay? Which I acknowledge. But as an old school NBA fan, all I was saying there was that, you know, it wasn't a popularity contest. The All-Star game should not be a popularity contest, right? Granted that maybe that's the way it's treated now.
Yes.
But I'm just saying is that when these same players, Dwayne Wade's retired now,
and it's this season was basically like a
But that's what I'm saying.
tour.
But that's what I'm saying though, is that like that popularity or resurgence of popularity, that All-Star nod is going to go on his resume as a basketball player. And to me, I think that's messed up because this guy and this guy had to work their asses off.
Correct.
So that's all I'm saying, is that being an All-Star is an accolade. It is not.
It used to be.
It should always be. It should always be.